Yes, that's right. It's Joe here for Joyrider TV. And yes, that's right. I've just enjoyed two very different catamaran events. The Tornado World Championships in Thessaloniki, and then the Nacra 50th Anniversary Regatta Lake Como, Italy. I thought it'd be a really good idea just to take a look at all of the starts that I videoed and almost do a kind of reacts video where I react to my own starting technique on each of the races. I'm certainly going to get something out of this, and hopefully you guys will get something out of this as well. So let's dive in and head over back to Thessaloniki and get on the Tornado with Ben. Okay, so the practice race for Tornado Worlds, and we thought we would go for what I was calling one of the Hamish nuggets of gold, where we're starting closer to the committee boat than I had done previously. So just hanging out. One of my kind of like every time go-to moves on the start line is getting on there early, just because I have a real fear of not being able to get in the front row on the start line. So 20 seconds to go here, and everybody else is moving in, and a lot of the fleet are piling in quite far down the line, but it only takes one boat to sit on top of us to really set us back significantly. So off we go. We get off the start line. Looks pretty clean from here, but there they are. There's Mirko and Andrea from Italy just coming over the top, and that's all it takes to really turn what would have been a good start into a poor start. But that was just the practice race, so let's move on. Okay, already into the starting sequence here, 54 seconds to go. And yes, bit further down the line here, I think having had that kind of having a boat sail over the top of us in the practice race made me feel that stick to your guns, do what you know, and get down the line. In fact, that is not what we're doing here. So alright, so 20 seconds to go, and we're looking to get in at the committee boat. But as we can see here, the committee boat is busy. So just trying to find a hole to get through, very much last minute. If I'd have pulled the trigger a little bit harder here, got the speed on a bit sooner, we might have just popped through that hole and come out in front. But really sluggish to get up to speed. I've got this real mental block with being over the start line early. I don't want to have a, what would it be, UFD on the score sheet, which the UFD means over the start line early. When the U flag was up, instant disqualification. Alright, so we can see already that we are not eyeing up the committee boat start in this one. There's the Aussies just sat to windward of us. Yeah, and just really trying to get more on the line. Got the Traveller set out. That helps with the quick acceleration, and it kind of helps with angling the boat a little bit more off the wind, because if we have the Traveller central main sheet out, then the boat is going to sit more head to wind, making it a bit more difficult to get going. But we can see again, if we look up towards the committee boat, there are a lot of boats opting to start up there. So I think starting down the line looked like a good option, but do we have the boat speed to stop Alan from getting over the top of us? And as we can see here, immediately, answer, no. and Alan is off like a shot. But unfortunately for the Aussies there, they were actually UFD on that start. But look at the pace that they're getting away. Even though they were over the start, that is a significant amount of pace to be sailing off the start line with. Okay, similar flavour. Yes, we're halfway down the start line here, reasonably early, but most of the fleet are there with us at this time. We've got a lot of space to windward, which will make that spot seem quite attractive to other boats coming in. There's Joseph just sailing round the back and getting right in underneath us, and that is the spot that we really want to keep available to bear off into to get a bit of boat speed. Because my feeling is on the starts that if we bear off too much into that space underneath, then we're going to get sucked in to the boat that is to leeward of us and get kind of choked with that. 9 seconds to go. It's not looking too good here. Pretty light wind on this start as well. Boats in front. Oh dear, yes, that is not a particularly good looking start, but somehow we've come out looking not too bad just by getting a bit of height over the Dutch boat, which appeared to have been stalled. Joseph on the blue boat as well. So we did kind of get away all right there, but the boat that got the pin really took the cheese. Okay, race 7, so coming back after the mid-session interval. And everybody's hungry on race 7 in the Tornado Worlds, having just had a day off. Again, middle of the line position. Here you can see I've got the Traveller set central, and I'm having to give it a fairly serious bit of rudder to keep the boat moving. So looking at it from here, all I'd need to do is let the Traveller out and I wouldn't have to do that. The boat would keep moving a lot easier. Now, again, I'm really wary of being over the line early. Ben is really confident on his transit and, yeah, perhaps bearing off a little bit too much down the line. Here's the action behind as we come up to the starting signal, and there it is. Looks reasonably respectable, but the distortion from the cameras doesn't show how close we are to the boat underneath, and again that means we can't bear away and go for speed because we'll be getting sucked into their dirty if we were to do so.
Got Ben trimming the main sheet.
Alright, so here we go. Final race of the Tornado Worlds. Hopefully we'd have learnt something by now. We're really quite far down the start line. You can see the committee boat is quite far away. And yeah, there is a little bit of congestion to leeward, which already looks like we're not going to do so well to be able to bear away after the start. So perhaps what we should be looking to do here by pulling the Traveller in a bit is to just gain a little bit of height, maybe pull forwards on the start line a little bit earlier. But again, my reluctance to be too close to the line is perhaps working against us here. Yeah, so there we've got the young Spanish boat coming over the top. Very bold move there. And as we approach the gun, getting her up to speed, and look at the Spanish guys, they are off. That is a great start from them, and it looks on the camera like a pretty good start from us. But once again, I think what really let us down in the Tornado event was our upwind boat speed in the light winds. Need more power in the rig. Great event, good to be there. Okay, so welcome to Lake Como, and we're on board a Nacra Evolution F18. I'm on with Max. and just revving up to the start in the practice race. Not so much wind in this one, probably 10 to 12 knots. And it's our first time racing the Nacra Evolution. Again, going for a fairly sort of tentative, conservative down the line start, about 2/3 of the way down the line. And throughout this whole regatta, we're sharing the start line and the race course with a fleet of Nacra 20s, which are bigger and more powerful and faster than the F18s. So here we go, just trying to get a bit of space on the start line, and we can see that is a 20 just appearing behind and to windward of us. So we're up to speed, nice and on time there for the start. And I think we got away pretty nicely. We've got a load of clear wind, but you can already see in the top view there are boats which have clearly got a big advantage already. And here comes that 20 to hoover up all of our wind. And this was before we'd worked out our strategy for the race course as well. Race 1, and we had, before this race, already decided how we're going to get more power into the boat. But yeah, much more congestion here with a bit more of a scrap on the start line. We're a lot closer to the committee boat as well. And yeah, very tight. And yeah, it looks like we are a little way back here already. So we should be pushing a little bit more at this stage to stay with that front row. But again, not wanting to count a UFD on the start. A lot of boats getting penalised in the early races of this regatta, incidentally. And we can see happening just to windward of us, there is a little bit of stuff going on with the Hungarian boat just coming up right in between the bows. So you can see that cluster of boats all kind of stalled, which leaves us to get away nicely. Nobody able to get over the top. But we are looking to get over to the right side of the course, the west side of the course, reasonably quickly, because we know that the first boat to get over to the west gets a good amount of advantage. Race 4. We are older and wiser now on the start line. Again, pretty much middle of the line. You can see the committee boat is a bit over in the distance. As it's later in the day here, we're thinking middle of the course is going to be better. But if I knew then what I know now, is we'd have been banging it committee boat end all the way and tacking off as soon as we can to get over to the west. Not a lot of boats to windward of us, so it meant if we had have been going for committee boat end, we would have had a really nice amount of space to play with there. But hindsight is, you know, pretty unfriendly to you at times when you know what you could have done. But there we go, off the start line, pretty clean, nobody on top of us. Giving Max the main sheet, really need to get a bit more speed on, as we can see one boat is coming over the top with a lot more speed. But that leads us to tack off, to go over to the west side of the course. But had we known we were going to do that, we'd have started more on the committee boat side. Alright, race 7. Yes, we are skipping forward in time another day. There's the Polish boat just underneath us. And much closer to the committee boat on this start. Because we definitely, by this stage in the regatta, we knew that hitting the west side of the lake as soon as possible was definitely the strategy that we wanted to go for. And by starting near to the committee boat meant, like Hamish said, that we wouldn't be blocked by as many boats if we did want to tack off. And we definitely wanted to tack off. So starting nearer to the committee boat, more options, 15 seconds to go. Max doing a great job calling the distance to the start line. Be good just to get the speed on that little bit sooner, but there we go. Main sheet in, double trapezing, and we are off. Just waiting until we've got enough space on those boats, which are to windward of us, to be able to tack off and go and hit the west side. And we were certainly first place at the windward mark in this race. Race 8. Yes, we did film 3 races on this day, and even further up, having had a taste of closer to the committee boat, we thought if we can really get that pole position committee boat start, that is going to put us in a very favourable position for the start. Now, I knew that the Hungarian boat, which is the one just in front, they weren't going to be able to hold that position, so there was definitely going to be enough space to get in there. Good bit of wind on this start as well, probably about 14-15 knots, and that gave us the reassurance that we would have the boat speed to be able to maintain our position off the line. So getting hooked on, little bit late getting up to speed, but we definitely had to be where we were. And yeah, 2 boats feeling that there was still space to windward of us to get in. They're tacking off immediately, but pretty messy tacks, which meant that we could tack off with a nice tack, and once again winning it to the windward mark in this race, first place to the first mark. So very happy with that as a start and a general strategy. If only we could go back and do it all again, we would do much better, but that's how it works. So this is on the same day, the last race on day 3, I believe, and again going for the committee boat start. Just sitting there, definitely finding the Evolution so much easier to handle on the start line than the Tornado. I think due to the flat bottom hulls, the deep dagger boards, and that the boat isn't as wide, it means you really can stop the boat pretty dead and have that peace of mind that you can get going again, and the fact that there's more wind. Some boats jamming it in underneath us, but again, we're wanting to go west, so that is not a problem. But a little bit slow to pull the trigger there off the start line, and getting a bit boxed in by boats coming in. I can't remember who that was to windward. I think that was Riley and Ben, the Aussie American Express. And there's Max. He's just looking for when we can tack. Can we tack yet, Max? Oh no, not yet. Okay, let's go. So really having to bear away a little bit to get a bit of space away from that boat to windward, really keeping an eye on them as we go through to not collide, and then getting through the tack. Yes, we've got a clear lane and we are away to the west. Right, here we go. Race 10, penultimate day. Little bit less wind, as this is the first race of the day, so not quite as much breeze. And everybody is fancying the west side, having just seen our I think we were first on the previous day each race to the windward mark by hitting the west side first. So a very good day for us to get those first to the windward mark feelings. So yeah, very congested up by the committee boat. We did have enough of a hole to come through, just pushing Sana and Frank up a little bit. They weren't too pleased about that, but you know, you've got to do these things to make a bit of space. But look at that congestion to windward of us in a space that isn't really there. Sheeting in, getting away, yes, and by this stage in the regatta, we're really getting to know the Evolution, how to work it, how to get the speed out of the boats in these conditions. Again, looking to tack off, but with all those boats lined up to windward, we're just having to wait a little bit longer, which isn't ideal because the further you come into the middle, the less favourable it is. Okay, final race here. Alternative camera angle. Put it in the comments below if you prefer the angle from the boom or from the bowsprit, or if you just like to have the variety. And again, not going for the hard committee boat start, and we just had to beat the Hungarian boat on this race, which is actually the boat taking pole position on the start here right up to windward. But this is a great position to be in, not too far up, loads of space, a lot of the boats going down the start line as they've decided that east is the beast to go for in this start, but we're still keen on the west because it's the best. And one boat to windward, so we just need to get away with enough speed to not allow those guys to sail over the top. They're getting up to speed quickly, we can see, but we've got a bit of space to bear away. Let's just see how this pans out. Yeah, not much space, but we want to tack off anyway, so all we need is enough space to tack. There we go, enough space to tack, and we don't want anybody tacking on top of us, but that looks pretty safe as well. So off we go over to the west side, and there it is. Okay, so yeah, we really progressed, or I really progressed a lot throughout these two regattas. I hope you've been enjoying all of the coverage and the footage, and I hope you've enjoyed or got something from this kind of debrief as well. Hopefully I'll be checking in with Hamish again, having completed the two events, so that we can get a bit more of that red hot Kiwi knowledge into the camp. But thanks very much for coming along, and I'll see you soon with some more on Joyrider TV.